Change comes to all nations. Whether we like it or not, change is one of the few constant things in our lives. Sometimes this change comes peacefully, but more times than not, it comes violently.
Today's violence was just the latest in a number of spectacular acts by Palestine terrorists.
With the rise of religious terror groups in the 1960s, many governments around the world would be caught short as heavily armed and very motivated fighters would lash out randomly and without mercy against civilian targets. West Germany would be one such nation. At the Summer Olympics in 1972, 8 members of the Palestinian militant organization Black September would make their presence felt by killing 2 members of the Israeli team and taking 9 others hostage.
Early this morning, the Palestinians have demanded the release of 200 Arabs jailed in Israel.
Some of the terrorists who are held in prison in Israel must be released, otherwise are going to kill some of the sportsmen.
After tense negotiations and a woefully inadequate police response, the crisis would tragically culminate in an airfield shootout, resulting in the death of all the athletes, but also all of the terrorists. The primary failure of the rescue was placed on a lack of West German police snipers to eliminate the threat, as the Bundeswehr was not permitted to operate within German borders in peacetime, removing any hope of employing any military snipers. With the world shaken and enraged by the highly publicized event, change would come to West Germany, and change came rapidly. Immediately following the attack in Munich, changes would be made. Step 1 would begin with the creation of an elite German counter-terrorism team, Grenzschutzgruppe 9, or Border Group 9, under the authority of the German Border Police, or Bundesgrenzschutz. This would get around German constitutional concerns about employing a Bundeswehr element within German borders, but would also permit them to act abroad if necessary. Secondly, the German police needed to be rearmed and re-equipped for the modern post-war world that West Germany now find themselves in. Showing up to terrorist incidents armed primarily with .32 ACP pocket pistols is what some might consider suboptimal. This would ultimately result in the famous Munich trio of handguns, the Walther P5, the Sig Sauer P6, and the famous Heckler & Koch P7. Lastly, a request was put out for a police sniper rifle to arm the newly minted GSG-9. Both Walther and Heckler & Koch would submit rifles to the trials, but ultimately it was Heckler & Koch's submission that would see GSG-9 adoption. Enter stage right, the Precision Schützengewehr 1, the Precision Shooting Rifle 1. Based around the rough-and-tumble G3 battle rifle currently in service with the Bundeswehr, the engineers of Heckler & Koch would turn it into a precision sniper rifle package. The PSG1 is different in most respects to its contemporaries in the fact that it was not built as a military rifle, but rather a police rifle. The first key difference you notice is that the PSG1 is issued with a Garbini tripod instead of a bipod, lending itself to a more static position and sterile operating environment, such as city buildings and suburban areas. The PSG-1 uses a heavy bull barrel, which is 25.59 inches long. It uses 4-groove rifling with a 1 in 12 twist, optimized for a 168 grain projectile. From the factory, HK required that each rifle fire 50 rounds into an 80mm circle at 300 meters, or 3.14 inch circle. If one of those 50 rounds deviated from its impact point, the rifle would be rejected. Absolutely insane accuracy standards, even to this day, and especially so for a semi-automatic sniper system. One of the most distinct features of the PSG-1 is the pistol grip. It's large and made of wood. The handstop is adjustable for height for shooter comfort. Using it while firing the rifle, it does tend to make the manual of arms a little bit awkward. And some of the controls, like the magazine release and the safety, the shooter does, and myself included, I had to remove my hand from the grip entirely to manipulate the safety. But if I stretched my index finger long enough, I was able to release the magazine. One added feature as compared to the standard G3 rifle was the addition of a silent bolt closure device. To us, used to the AR-15 platform of rifle, we would just call this a forward assist, but not HK. Normally, roller-delayed firearms require a lot of force for that bolt to go home and seat in battery, leading to the famous HK slap. However, if you're in a hide site or prone with this rifle, you might not want to get up and expose yourself just to do the HK slap. So you could ride the bolt home even though it wouldn't go fully into battery, and then seat the bolt properly with the silent bolt closure device. The trigger on the PSG1 is absolutely sublime. It is a fixed 3-pound trigger with a very crisp and short reset. It's a welcome relief compared to your standard PTR-91 or HK-91 series of rifles, which were needlessly heavy but also a direct result of the Bundeswehr drop safety requirements for the G3 rifle. The most dated feature of this rifle is the fixed Hensoldt 6x42mm optic. It uses a simple crosshair sight, however it does feature nighttime illumination, which is battery powered using a period battery, and I'm not even going to bother trying to find one for that. The biggest issue that's well known when it comes to the PSG1 is that the optic mount itself is welded to the receiver, and the only footprint that optic is going to fit is the Hensoldt optic, which is aptly named the PSG1 optic. So I hope you like it, because it's the only one you're going to get. This doesn't detract from the fact that the PSG1 is a beautifully smooth shooting rifle, with a wonderful trigger and accuracy that is borderline asinine. It is well recorded that these rifles are capable of half-minute of angle groups from a semi-automatic rifle from 1972. Most semi-automatic sniper systems currently employed today can't even do that. This is a rifle that has served faithfully throughout the decades with police and counter-terrorism teams across the globe. This particular rifle that I'm shooting here was retired from an Italian counter-terrorism team before it was imported into the United States. When these rifles were brand new, they cost $10,000 each in 1972. Nowadays, they go for much, much more than that. However, its performance definitely justifies the price. If you would like to learn more about this rifle, or would like to add it to your own collection, it's available at IlluminedArms.